It is now the start of 7 o'clock. Call to order the City of Alburnett City Council meeting here on June 8th, 2023. First, we will start with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So, quick roll call.
Council Trump, Council Shantz,
Present.
Council West,
Present.
Council Bosenberg is unavailable, and Mayor Bethany is not here today.
Let the record reflect that we do have quorum in order to be able to conduct business today. Just moving on to the next item, approval of the agenda. Is there any amendments, anything that needs to be made to the agenda?
There's no amendments or changes.
Okay. So moved by Shantz. Second by West. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And sheriff's reports.
Let's see, we had approximately 16 calls for service since last council meeting. Nothing that I see of note, and we've had our contracted hours. Any questions?
So,
Alrighty.
thank you for
All right, thank
stopping
you much.
by.
Have
Have a great
Have a
night.
nice night.
Enjoy the weather.
Thank you, you as well.
All right, mayor's report, and our mayor is not present today, so we will move forward to council reports. Anything? Councilor Trump? Councilor Shantz? Councilor West? Nothing myself here. All right, citizens' comments. There is a 5-minute limit for agenda items, and then also 5 for non-agenda items. If you are on the agenda, that will be your opportunity to actually speak. But are there any agenda-related comments wanting to speak at this time?
So I see you got the agenda comments now, but you also have under new business.
Discuss
What
your
we're-
speeding concerns, so you could speak now for 5 minutes,
Yep.
or you could wait until the person that brought it up speaks and then follow after them.
I
I
It's
think
your
we'll
choice.
wait, we'll wait.
That's fine.
Good deal. So, all right. Any non-agenda items? All right. Moving forward, written reports.
Fire.
Any questions on the fire department notes there? Looks like 5 calls on this particular report. Anybody have anything to add or any questions?
I would like to add just a thanks to the members that helped on our call out at Martin Complex. So we had some local members help provide life safety. So just like to thank them stepping in and helping them all until we got here.
Anything else? Moving forward to Public Works.
The only thing I do want to add as of present today, we did go out and check the lagoons. We are basically taking cell 1 and moving it into cell 2 and 3. That operation's going on for about a week right now. It's going very well. We did go out there and look today, and it looks like we've got quite a bit of capacity. Again, I'm starting to research this to kind of get a baseline. We have to do this again in fall, so as far as draining the lagoons. So I do believe that once we have that, I will be able to make a determination on whether or not we need to dredge. I did find out from a person today that the last time we did a dredge was 1982. So we got our money's worth out of lagoons. So we've done good. So, but again, like I said, just keeping an eye on it, and hopefully we come out smiling like a rose, as I say.
So you're talking sewage lagoons, is that correct?
Yeah, it's a sewage lagoons.
Have we made, I know you've got a lot on your plate, but
Sorry.
just so we don't forget it, that generator,
Contract?
no, up here the pumping station and those parts, we haven't done anything or made any progress on that, have we?
No, not at the time, because we're waiting for the grant to see if we get the grant for the firehouse
Yeah,
first, because if we get that, then we can move money over there to try to get that. That's what that was kind of the plan.
okay,
So we're trying to make sure we've got enough money, so. And I haven't heard back from the grant yet, but again, they did say that we were a good candidate because of our need, so. Clerk's report, I have nothing to add to the clerk's report. Treasurer's report, I have no additions to the treasurer's report. We're healthy right now. And that moves us into the consent agenda, Chris.
All right, so. Is there any changes, any questions on the consent agenda?
There are no changes.
Any questions? Seeking a motion to approve.
second,
Counselor Shantz moved, second, Counselor Trump. All in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. On to new business. Discussing quote to patch potholes. This is going to be, let me get to the right page here. Looks like these are quotes that were worked up in January. And so we're just looking to get some discussion on here in terms of approximately how many of these we would want to tackle. If we want to do all of them, if we want to do some of them, if so, if it's some of them, which ones are we wanting to target most immediately? Which ones are the priorities? And Chris, do you want to speak to these quotes a little bit?
Yeah, so basically what we're looking at, the quotes, they were assembled, and the lowest quote did come in with Prairie Road Builders at that time. So that's where some of the quotes that you're seeing are on here. At this point, all I'm kind of needing is some idea of what you all believe is, like, Chris is saying, the priority as far as streets are concerned. Which ones do you want me to tackle first? Which ones do you want me to tackle last? Which ones do you want me to not even do anything with right now? If you were to look at them, or do we just want to do all of them? Because again, we're starting a new fiscal year.
we're looking at almost 16,000, right?
Approximately, yeah.
Can you say that again, please?
We're looking at almost 16,000,
To do them all?
yeah.
Approximately, yeah.
What's in our budget for that kind of stuff?
Again, it's a new fiscal year, so we got almost 100,000, so
How much is in it?
about 100,000.
Well, then we shouldn't have a problem then.
So you want
And
me
some
to,
of these road improvement funds
yeah,
will also help cover this. We don't know how much of that money we'll get back based on.
it's all road tax use, so, and, we end up getting a lot of it back. The more we develop, the more we improve, the more we mean, I'm fine with
Why
making it
delay
easy.
it, let's just get it done.
I find making it easy.
I'm surprised we didn't get a bid from Cruise Mark.
They did, so, like I said, some of these, you know, I may have to split it up. Again, I'm gonna go back to the pricing. The pricing that I'm seeing right now, though, is at Prairie Hills. So, I'm not asking for action on the pricing, I'm only asking the discussion of what to start with. I will get you exact pricing and get you exactly where we're at next meeting, if that's okay.
So go ahead and,
Figure out what we need.
Yeah, I just need to know, am I all of it or something, so.
I would go ahead and just get the cost of all of it at this time.
Just because that bid is originally from January, I just wanna make sure those bids are still solid. Okay, perfect.
So nothing else to take action on that one,
Nope.
just. And then the next item is, the speeding concern on Willow Street, and, what did you want to discuss on that?
Concern came in that there was excessive speeding during the school hours on Willow Street, and a request to put a speed sign over there. I did get the speed sign over there, which is our portable speed sign. I did also then learn after that part of the issue is the kids are they're basically drag racing from Moot Hart into that area, going around it, and basically being reckless around the curve. So there were two schools of thought on this. One was, if we put the sign up in front, like where Blue Heart is, it'll at least alert them, because a lot of people don't stop at that stop sign, which is part of the problem. In order to be able to go speeding around there, you would have to blow that stop sign. Unless you're starting from the curve, and then in that case, how fast are you going? Okay, so then, so that was the concern. Do we put the sign there, or do we put it in the middle where the curve is to try to stop it? I then received another request for speed bumps, which I'm going to turn over to Mr. West here, because he's the one that brought that up.
Okay, so I had some things brought up to me from people that lived on Willow Street about kids and just general traffic coming through. I would assume they're doing the speed limit at 25, but going through those curves, they're either cutting them in short or they're just blowing through, kind of like smoothing out the curves in essence. So it's been brought up to me a couple times about it, and some things that came up was either post some speed limit signs to make sure it's reinforced, removable speed bumps, so then they can be put in during spring, summer, fall, and then removed during winter time for plowing, or even changing the speed limit down to 15 or 20 miles an hour. So it's just been a concern that's brought up, because a lot of kids are playing on the road or near the street.
Kids walk those streets.
Yep. Plus during school hours, or before school and after school, you get kids walking, so.
Is there a certain time of day that this is going on?
Well, during school, it's before and after school. But then, for instance, like any general traffic kind of goes through there. I didn't really watch it until it was brought up to me, and then, yeah, you can kind of tell some of them were driving pretty reckless through there.
I
So,
was just wondering if we could have the sheriff sent there for, have a deputy patrol during in the morning and midnight.
yeah,
Deputy, I don't know.
yeah, I don't
Of
know.
course, kids are smart.
Yeah.
They can smell a cop from a mile away.
I don't know if that cop is sitting around that S curve in that corner, they're not gonna smell that.
No.
They're gonna get caught before they smell it. Plus, it would definitely be, if if you put them in a spot that they can't see it right away, they're gonna tell their friends at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
I
They'll
like.
test them while they're driving around the corner.
Right. I like the idea of, this is my opinion on this, I do like the idea of reducing the speed. I think that is a great idea. It's easy to do. We can get those speed signs right away, and we could potentially mark that down. The concern that I have about speed bumps, when you're going around a corner, and I only know this from my stock car days, I'm not gonna get into it. But when you're coming around a corner at that speed, if you hit a bump, the likelihood of you going into another car that is parked or going into a house is much higher than if you don't have that bump there. Because you wouldn't be able to tell them, hey, there's a bump there. Not to mention it does massive damage to the road, and even if it's a temporary one, and then there's the added cost of now we've gotta have someone go out, remove it, patch it, remove it, and all that.
Plus they're noisy.
They are very noisy, and not everybody wants their car realigned after a certain amount of time. Because even if you're going over a slow amount, it does tend to tear up your car. But I do really like the speed limit, reducing that. And I do like the idea of the sheriff. That's something I've been telling residents is please contact the sheriff. And then the other thing is that, making sure that maybe we keep that. I mean, I'm willing to keep the speed sign going for as long as we need. And if we need to get another radar sign, that's not really an issue. I can have another one installed.
You know, if we did sign it, speed limit sign, cut the speed, that'd give the sheriff an opportunity more to
Correct?
Yep.
enforce it.
Correct.
Tell him, look, we got this sign here, this speed, whatever people want. Say, we want this enforced.
Would you want a kids at play sign?
Actually, well, I know,
Can I speak now?
yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
Julie,
Should I
Some
say my
people-
name first?
Yes.
Julie Carson. I live at 309 Willow Street.
No, you don't need to say
All right. I'm going to read this because there's a lot of thoughts that has been put into this. Being a resident on Willow Street here in Alburnett, I have concerns for many of us living in the street. The street is connected with Longworth on west side and on the east side of Moothart. Currently, there are no speed limit signs when I wrote this. This is a unique residential S-curve until a digital sign has been placed. We haven't been reminding drivers to slow down by yelling, and of course they would just look at us like, ha ha, you know. The only sign posted on the street are the no parking signs, same side as the mailboxes are. When cars are parked on the designated side, there is only one car to pass. So that's a one lane. This gets very congested when residents have visitors, which that's what it's all about. So you get a one laner through that. This is for safety reasons for those living on this street and those who drive a vehicle, scooters, golf carts, and pedal bikes, motorcycles, whatever. Either they live here in town or just visiting, they don't know that street. I feel the vehicle mile per hour flow in this area needs to be reduced. It's easily to get distracted or in a hurry, which a lot of people do. Since a parking lot has been added to the backside of the school on Moothart, this has created students and parents with their children in a hurry to get out of school. This has added traffic in the neighborhoods, not just Willow. I am worried for those that drive on Willow, missing the curb as they swerve or turn sharply on an S-curve and possibly run into another vehicle coming from the opposite direction, or hitting the parked car in the designated side. This has happened with a driver hitting a curb witnessed by myself and another resident this past spring. I would like to petition a resolution to reduce the speed at Willow. according to the City Codes, Chapter 34, Section 3, 3418, special speed restrictions. I feel promoting a 25-mile-per-hour digital sign is not appropriate for this street. Please consider a permanent sign posted on each end of Willow Street with a high visible S-curve caution, along with a 15-mile-per-hour limit. Please take in consideration the safety for all in helping us with another solution other than this digital sign, which has actually added more. They think 25, you can go through there and you can't. There are 14 residents on Willow Street. I have 10 signatures here that agree with me that we need to do this. I urge you as council members to drive Willow Street and help the mile-per-hour safety for all in the codes designated for special speed restrictions in the codes. That's it.
So, I do think the 15 mile an hour is appropriate there.
Put it on the S-curve.
Yeah, there's not too many S-curves in town.
It's the
Yes.
only
It's
one.
very unique.
Yeah.
Say S-curve.
It's the
And-
only S-curve in Alburnett.
Plus,
The same.
passing through that street is not necessary.
It's not.
You can take a left at that stop sign once you leave the parking lot and get back out onto Roosevelt. Was that Third?
Third,
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can take Third. You don't have to go through Willow. So that, I don't know about the curve sign though.
We
That
can get a curve sign just like we can get. the
I
stop
didn't
sign.
know if that would be.
It's a warning to say, heads up. You come up, you're gonna have that triangle S-curve, and then at the bottom, you're gonna have a 15-mile-per-hour
Good
speed
idea.
limit.
That was my point. Have the 15 miles an hour on the curves.
So do just the yellow.
On one pole,
Yeah.
on both ends.
You don't need the S curve on, you would only need the speed limit on the other one. Because on
You
the
need
other
both
end
ends.
of Willow, from Longworth, people are turning.
Oh,
already.
no, both ends on Longworth, and
Yeah,
then
they
kind
have
of,
a 15 on Longworth, and then the S curve sign on the other end with the 15. Because people shouldn't be coming into that. I mean, they shouldn't be coming in from Moothart, but Moothart is a straight shot into the neighborhood. Whereas all your other traffic coming from Longworth is they're turning. That's turning traffic into there. So they should be at a reduced speed. So,
if-
I mean,
When I was a kid, I could get going pretty fast.
And that's what some of them were worried about, you know, I mean, we know some of them are kids, but the cutting the corners, you know, and things like that was what was brought up to me, so,
Basically cutting the curve on it.
yeah.
As far as
And
changing the digital sign, just again, so you guys know, I have not gotten that far into understanding how the digital
Oh,
sign
okay, yeah.
changes, so that was just a sign we had somewhere else
Yep.
with 25.
Oh, yeah, we
So I've got
appreciate that you
way too
did
many
that.
hats on right now.
yes, yes, you do, yes, you do, and I appreciate that. Getting that,
was
but
like-
we're going 25,
Yeah, it was like
no.
it was kind of one of those things that I didn't have a lot of time to get it set up, and I just was like, I'm just gonna put here, and hopefully something happens.
So
But I can
again,
understand what you're saying about.
drive through that
Oh,
at
I've
25 miles an
driven.
hour.
I
You
don't get
can't
the-
do
no,
it.
I get
drive
cookies
25,
all the
just
No,
time.
don't, because we don't want you to.
Yeah, I get
that's where
cookies.
they go.
Yeah, so,
We'll have to park our cars in the street and then you drive through there to see what happens.
Either way.
I could see where you put an S curve, if you're gonna do it on one end, do it on both ends of that
I agree,
section, and have it uniform with a 15 mile an hour speed limit.
I agree.
You'd see it coming and going.
And
way, then
once
Mr.
the-
Sheriff can go ahead and clock them, and then they're gonna get caught.
Right.
Yeah, and all it takes is a couple dozen warning tickets to, and those feet will get a lot lighter on the pebbles.
And again, since I am, if I was going to order signs, would you also want to include a children at play sign?
Yes, yes, please. I'm sorry.
Well, whether you have it there or somewhere else, you're gonna be building a playground out by the fire station for too long, right?
That's right.
And, you know, it's,
Well, you can always order it if it don't work out, we can find another place.
Again, yeah, I can put it outside New City Hall,
Right.
because I'm always at play, so. All right,
Put it up in the park if it don't work.
Out by the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, there's a place for it eventually.
So, we're looking at 2 S-curve signs with the 15-mile-an-hour badge underneath it. And then a caution children at play sign. Seeking a motion.
So moved.
So, moved by Trom, second by Shantz, and all in favor?
All right.
All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Please give us a little time, it takes about 2 weeks for us to get those signs.
Oh,
And that's at
yes.
the earliest, it can't take
Yeah.
longer, so
Yeah,
just,
and then we'll coordinate with the sheriff's department,
sure.
have somebody, especially once those signs get posted. Cause
Right.
that's when they'll wanna make sure that we get that enforced right away.
Who decides where they go?
I'd actually have to go out there and kind of take a look and see what, like, obviously, we're gonna want one, again, at coming to the S-curve, so I've gotta see where I can put one on there. The children's at play sign would then go somewhere similar, and then we go around the corner on the other side and see where we're coming in. It's like I said, it would just, I gotta look at the placement, see what I'm allowed to do, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, I thank you.
If it puts in the wrong place, tell you.
Yep, you know my phone number.
All right. Call before you did.
Yeah.
Which phone?
All right, next order is resolution 2023-10. And this is settling corporate bank structure. Chris gave me a rundown on this earlier today, and just to make sure that I don't mess up an explanation, I'll let him explain why this is in the agenda.
So we actually recently did this, when we did the bank structure, but a situation has arisen that kind of made us go, oh, probably should change this slightly. The situation is actually tonight. We are missing our pro tem and our mayor. I can't get checks signed for Friday, because none of you can sign checks. So,
You want me to sign?
no.
Officially, I think is what he's looking for.
So I called the auditor because I want to make sure we're doing this right. And the way the auditor says, since we are getting, hopefully, if we decide, a deputy clerk, the deputy clerk, as long as the deputy clerk makes the claims, so in other words, they produce the claims to write the checks, then the city administrator can sign the bottom line of a check. I have to still have 2 signatures. Well, what this would allow me to do, if we were saying tonight would be an example, it would allow me to sign the bottom of the check, and Bethany, who is actually here, Dave is not, on Friday could have come in and signed the top of the check. And that would work for the bank. The bank won't accept any signatures on checks from me right now. Now, the other part of this is kind of the dark horse. Say, for example, while Dave is out fishing in Minnesota or wherever he's at, he falls in, catastrophically doesn't come back, okay? We are kind of at that point at a complete loss because we need both of them to make any changes on the bank. So then we couldn't conduct business, and we couldn't sign warrants, and we couldn't send checks. The concern was brought of, well, what's stopping me from just going in the bank and saying I want to take a bunch of money out? Well, the bank has safeguards for that. Nobody here, including myself, can go into the bank and take any money out. Because all we do is deposits, and we have to have warrants, and we have to have, they look at our verbiage, they look at our resolutions before they would even consider that. So they are on full alert, it cannot happen. So all we're trying to do here by adding that one line of the city administrator is just so that I have the ability to sign the bottom line of our two-party checks. The auditor said this was fine. Again, I cannot make the claims and then sign the check. So I can't do it this time. I can only the deputy clerk can make the claims, and then the city administrator can sign the one bottom line of the check. The reason this came about, again, was because the check came through that they couldn't quite recognize the signature of one of these guys, and it was for our new city hall bill, because it was over the certain threshold, and that's why this was brought to our attention.
By the way, I went down and took my name off of all the proper documents so that I cannot write checks,
Right.
sign checks anymore.
Right.
We used to have one signature, me, but after all these years, they decided this was better, and I agree.
Well, it's better from a standpoint of checks and balances, and it's also better because it actually fits Iowa code. We are actually required to have two signature lines on our checks, so. Yeah.
So on this resolution, is it a roll call vote?
No,
Are there any questions, any other discussions? Does anybody need me to read the resolution? I
again,
am
it
seeing,
doesn't add me to the safety deposit box, it doesn't make it so that I can do anything else. All I can do is put my name on the
I just
bottom,
want everybody to know I cannot sign checks anymore.
and Chester cannot sign checks.
So as far as safety deposit box, any one of those three people could have access to that then?
To the safety deposit box, the only two people, the three people are the mayor pro tem, or the city clerk, yeah, which at that time would be the deputy clerk, yeah.
I'm done with all that. I went down and canceled all that out.
That's good.
Sounds like reasonable. I move we adopt resolution 2023-10.
motion by Trump, second?
I'll second.
Second by West. All in favor of passing resolution 2023-10, say aye. All opposed? And motion carries. Resolution is adopted. Resolution 2023-11, setting city fee schedules. This is just to put in paper and provide a point of reference as well for our fee schedules. Anytime that we have any type of nuisance abatement or any other possible fee that we would charge for a service given, this gives us a point to reference and to add additional fees to or increase additional fees. So,
The nice thing, I picked this up actually on the new manager's grapevine chat that I'm with. And the nice thing about this is that if we do make additional fees later on, it's easier to just go back to this exact same document and add a fee. So instead of having to create resolutions, which we've done in the past, where we made one resolution back in 1920, and we're trying to find that one resolution where we had that fee, this consolidates it so that all fees are visible and they're transparent to everybody, and if they do need to increase, we can increase them without having to completely look for one resolution.
so in the future, how would we do that? Would we just an amendment to resolution 2023-11 at that point?
Yeah, we just basically, we just do a resolution.
Or maybe just refer to it as the city fee schedule?
Yeah, see if it's got.
Does anybody have questions? Anything that is on here that we might be missing, any type of fee that you can think of?
I'm a little not sure about animal impound. How's that gonna work?
So, actually in our code of ordinances, one of the ways that we came up with this fee structure is going back to the code of ordinances. The code of ordinances is say that we set these all by resolution. The resolution for animal control, as far as the impound is concerned, that is, it's $30 to basically bring the animal, but then there also is there's fees associated for basically having animal control come out and all that, and that's how that would go.
This is all dealing with,
I thought they normally charge us $123.
No, not our site, and I did check it with the animal,
what's it called, the animal.
Humane Society.
Yeah.
And this is how this was
So
derived.
this helps offset our costs if we have to impound.
Correct, because right now, we're
Yeah.
actually budgeting a certain amount for
Yeah.
that. Instead, and this would basically make it so that
More of a pass.
it's more of a passive savings on the person.
Seeking a motion?
So moved.
Okay. Motion to adopt resolution 2023-11, moved by Trump, second. Second by Shantz. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And all opposed, same sign. Resolution 2023-11 is adopted. And then we've got back-to-back resolutions to cure Chris of his loneliness here in his office. Start with the hiring for city maintenance. In your packet, or I should say, in front of you, you should have the CV for Dalton Tatro. And were you on the committee, the interview committee for?
I was, but I had a doctor's appointment when they interviewed this too,
Okay.
so I was not there.
I can answer questions for Dalton.
Yeah.
So Dalton comes to us, nice young man, very knowledgeable. He currently works as a main tech for the property management group. So he does water main breaks, tree removals, landscaping, rebuilding like people's homes, decks, skirting. He's handyman basically for the entire property. When we were interviewing him, it was interesting because he says, and I do some engine, heavy engine work. And we're like, and? So it turns out this guy actually rebuilds engines. He knows lots about engines. And we asked, well, would you be comfortable working on a fire truck? And he's like, yeah, I could probably figure it out. So just from the mechanical standpoint of the different machines that we have to keep functioning and going, that was a definite selling point for this gentleman. And he's used to working with the public. He has managed his group over like 6 different properties that he's had to go take care of for this management group. And just all around, well-rounded, polite, very friendly, and approachable person. And that is why the hiring committee discussed about they basically hiring him for this city maintenance position.
So, when would his employment start?
He would like to start right away. I would like to see him if I can get him here on Monday.
And for our current city maintenance employee?
That terminated, that position started.
I didn't know, if-
That was the end of the month, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, we did
Yeah.
that at the end of May?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and he has the background checks and the, screenings have all come back, negative, so he's good to go on that, and, I just have to do the rest of the onboarding.
Do you have any additional questions?
So does this gentleman have the proper, for testing our water?
No,
So who's doing that now? Is
Me.
that You? Okay.
yes, and that's fine, he will eventually be able to get certified. We've actually got an affidavit operator that's handling it until I get my certification.
Okay.
I'm studying it right now. It's in my report that I will be taking those tests next month. That's the goal. I say that that's the goal because this is an ever-changing, ever-moving
Yeah.
cycle.
Right.
But a lot of my experience comes from California, where I handled a lot of that kind of wastewater and
Right.
water treatment, all that.
Right.
I have been doing that for, as far as testing the water and everything, for about 4 months now.
Okay.
So, and we're good.
Yeah. Well, I just wanna make sure, cause I know a few times we've got notices
Yeah,
after the fact that we've missed some testing,
yeah,
nothing's come of it that we know of.
just to clarify on that one, that last one, the testing lab didn't send Guy the bottle.
Okay,
We do rely a little bit on the testing lab doing their job.
sure.
And if they don't send us the bottle
Right.
and we miss it, because we went back on the reports and we checked the bottles, because it's a certain number that we have to count.
Yeah.
And I remember counting them with them and I'm like, dude, you're missing a bottle. And the lab that we use basically said, yeah, they forgot to send it. So that can happen from time to time. It doesn't necessarily mean your water's not safe.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
we do make sure to keep it safe.
okay.
And this gentleman's hiring agreement, he has 2 years to get certified.
Okay.
So we'll have
I
two.
just wanna make sure that we have more than one person.
Yeah.
So You're on
That's-
vacation. who's-
Yeah.
who's
That's
gonna fill
exactly
in for
why
you?
we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
We've
exactly why we're.
restructured city positions,
Right,
so that we do have, with Chris's new position, which is different than what he was hired for.
okay.
He has that, and then there will also be a city maintenance person that will have that certification. Just so that we always have a backup,
You bet. That's a smart move, yeah.
so.
Thank you.
The worst case scenario, we can get Centerpoint or Walker
Right,
to
Yeah,
help us out.
kind of like we're doing right now, you
Yeah.
know.
and he's he's taught me a lot, so it's great.
Lucky to be surrounded by some good people here.
Yep.
So, seeking a motion for resolution 2023-12 to hire Dalton Tatro as for city maintenance.
Move. Alright, for resolution 2023-12.
Motion by Wes, second by Trom. All in favor? All opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Resolution 2023-12 has been adopted. And moving on to the deputy clerk position, 2023-13. Did you want to speak to that as well?
Yeah, that's fine. You actually know this young lady if you go to the post office. Elizabeth was worked for the post office here for us in Alburnett for quite a while. And she was in need of a part-time job. And we started talking and she applied. She has a lot of experience in the fact that she used to run her own business. And so she had to keep the books, she had to deal with customers. She has fantastic customer service skills. She's done a great job in getting our post office organized. I can only imagine what she can do in here. as far as getting what we need to get in place. You know, she did, you know, she's obviously worked for the post office for a while, and she also had mentioned that she took what's called a basic education in office assistance course. Not many of you may be familiar with this. My last assistant that I had in my previous job as a co administrator, that lady will also have this same training, and it makes it so that she knows Microsoft Office, she knows how to use Excel, she knows how to use Word. They teach them how to basically organize a day, take notes, dictation, listen, that kind of thing, use a printer, you know, all the basic needs, and then the customer service on the phone, which I've personally witnessed Elizabeth do, and she's extremely professional and very, she always, if she doesn't know the answer, she just basically says, can I get your number, can I get your name, can I give you a call back? And then she goes and researches it and then follows up very, very well. So again, another great addition. We did have many candidates for both jobs. We did narrow it down to these two. So, yeah, that's a little for you.
And when would we be looking to have her start?
As soon as possible, preferably next week.
I tell what hours she plans on working.
She's going to be working in the morning, starting out, okay, so for 4 hours. Then she might switch over, but that's because if she switches over, then she could possibly do a couple 8-hour days, which would be very beneficial. I will tell you this, it will be Monday through Friday. So right now, where you've got me when I'm in the office, when I can be here, when I'm not doing public works or something else, you know, then this would allow her to basically have someone in the office to be able to take care of folks that are coming in and somebody to always answer the phone. Yeah, during those business hours, obviously.
Go ahead.
When you say part-time, is that 32 hours?
At this time, we're offering 24. Again, it's gonna be up to Elizabeth and myself to decide. I wanna see what she's comfortable with working, you know, and then what she wants to work. She is extremely eager, and she is she has a desire to get more involved with the city. Does this mean she's gonna leave the post office? It doesn't mean she's leaving the post office. Again, as far as the position she's in right now, they determine where she's at. So she could be here, she could be in Central City, she could be in Center Point. So that I have no control over. All I have control over is where she comes after she's done. And I do know her boss, and we've already talked, so, yeah.
Anybody have anything else to add or other questions?
I move we adopt resolution 2023-12.
Moved by Tron, do I have a second?
Oh,
Second.
13.
Or-
I'll second it.
So, 2023-13, that resolution, moved by Tron, second by Shantz, and we'll go ahead and vote on that. All in favor of adopting resolution 2023-13, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We have cured Chris's loneliness here in the office.
Maybe I can take it out.
All right, old business. Discuss bids for new city hall grade work. That is going to be in here for Handley and for Dan.
And it should be Colbert excavation.
What was the other? Oh yeah, there we go. There's Colker.
Oh, sorry, I'm slacking, very sorry.
I kept scrolling right past it.
Is that one?
All right.
I assume your Henry's bid is on 2 pages, right?
Correct. So we'll read through both pages.
Okay. And did you want to speak to the bids?
Again, we talked a little bit about this last time, as far as which bids we were looking at. These were the final bids that all came in. We are not considering Dan's because of the fact that it's involving a retaining wall, which we are not going to do. It was struck out because of the recommendation not to do a retaining wall. The two that were left, out of those two, Hanley Dirt Work did come in with lowest bid, and therefore we would like to offer the opportunity for Hanley to complete that work for the side grade as per the option speaks, which is it would include core out, haul off on the north side of the building, 7 to 8 inches, 35 to 75 foot area. They need to get the fall from the door to wade the drain. Need to lower the entire area to build up 3 inches of sub base and 4 inches of asphalt, milling for this top. And then they've got equipment, the amount for the loads of dirt, which has for the loads of dirt, a lot of that we offered for them to put some of the dirt over to our dirt pile by the new park. They're gonna haul off asphalt millings, and then they will tile basically that area out, install a drain near the door to take off any excess water that might populate and go into the storm drain.
I have a question. Did, you said Dan's bid contained a retaining wall?
Yes.
Did you give him an opportunity to,
Yes.
and it came in,
He just said he didn't want to do it.
pardon,
He didn't want to do it. Without, like we've already done, he already had said a lot of work that he was going to do, so he didn't want to do it after that.
okay.
Any discussion on the Handley bid? I know we spoke about this last time, just in terms of what we're wanting to have done, and certainly looks like this is the lowest of the two bids, and so,
He's done work for us before.
yeah.
I think we've been satisfied.
Yeah, Hanley's done great work for us. He's very concerned about the city, and he really likes what we do. You know, we are reaching out to the green space next to it. We're reaching out to Dan, has already approached us on that. So once this gets done, but they don't want to make any bids until, or do anything until this part is done. So we need this part taken care of, and then we'll start seeing what Dan has to offer there. Same process before. We reach out to everybody, see if we get 3 bids, those bid wins.
So, any further discussion on the Handley bid? If not,
Actually, I got one real quick,
Yes,
just
okay.
for clarification. Is there a reason why you decided to go PVC in that drain tile? I was just wondering.
He said something about because of the PVC would be thick enough that if cars drove over that section, it wouldn't crack.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Because that was the concern with all the construction people, was tiling that out, whether or not, that, what people driving over it, whether or not that would cause them to fall,
Yeah.
or whether or not, whatever they're cracked. This is basically what I said. That section in the back is only gonna be for employees, for the most part, and any overflow that we have.
Right.
So, because we have to put a handicap spot in the front of the building, so this is basically alleviate employee cars from piling up in the front and making it so no one can park in City Hall.
so it's pretty much low speed and just
Yep.
regular street vehicles, not heavy duty anything.
Right.
Alright, so, seeking a motion to accept the Handley dirt work bid on the drainage. new city hall?
So moved.
By Shantz, second by Trump. And all in favor of accepting the Handley bid for the drainage on the new city hall? Vote by saying aye for yes. And all opposed? Motion carries. So, next thing up are the new city hall remodel updates.
Currently, right now, the carpet is in, the tile is in. We've ordered the cabinet for the kitchen, for the second cabinet for the sink basin. We are taking this cabinet with us. I was able to match this, whatever this color is. Yeah, so anyway, they don't carry it anymore, Menards, they've stopped carrying it, so I had to order a special order, but it's okay, it's just what I had to do. And then, lights are in, the air conditioning is on, the doors are in, the doors are not painted, those will be coming in, that painting's going on tomorrow. They got the locks installed, so we've almost got the building completely secured so that we can start going through the doors. We are waiting for the front, because I know it's on everybody's mind. He's still working with that, hopefully by the end of next week. If not, he's thinking it'll be the week after. They do need to get it soon so they can start finishing up everything else that they're trying to do, because obviously that front section has not been tiled yet until they do that. Lights, they're waiting for the awning. And they've basically cleaned everything up in there. I'm in the process of, I've asked the fire department, Ron, to give me some idea of what they want me to do with the old air tanks and the old air generator that's out there. And he's reaching out to other fire departments to see whether or not we can donate those. We have no use for them. That's kind of a wrap. Moving right along though. It's a little behind schedule, but that's because that's the nature of a lot of things these days. We can't get a sub panel and we can't get a storefront, so it's kind of where we're at.
And any further questions or discussion? So are we thinking on target for our August meeting to be there?
I mean, I hope so. I don't want to get in the winter and start moving. Which all of you are coming to help move all this, right?
Sure. Order a bunch of trucks.
Right.
Get the cabin
Two
trailer.
in a truck.
The new guy.
If it happens during the summer, I've got a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old I'll send your way too. All right, park committee updates.
The park is kind of, we've got everything solidified. I am gonna go ahead and just start writing the grant. I have not had another meeting yet, again, because I've just, priority-wise, I've got to get my priorities where they're at. I'm gonna send out an update, hopefully tomorrow, to everybody to let them know that we're still, we're putting it together. I was not able to get a 3D model because my 3D person took off for Rome, which was a possibility, and I knew that. So I will try to get at least a rendering of some sort to turn in with the grant that I'm doing it, but I'll do that myself. Again, I'm not too concerned about it as far as putting that all together. But the idea right now we're looking at, I'm going to probably ask for about $350,000 in the grant, and we'll see what we get. And we'll go from there. But the performance rock and all that's in place. The other part of it is we started to realize that for what we want to do, the landscaping needs to be done ahead of time anyway, and then the ground needs to settle, and then we got to put grass on it anyway. So this is probably not going to be, besides what we do this year for the landscaping part, which I will be putting out bids to see who wants to do the landscaping. But we'll need to get that done first, and then we'll start piecing it together with the pavilions and the rock, and then the gym, and then the pickleball, which I know is Dave's favorite. So
summarize the landscaping out there. It's basically flat. and
It is.
Dirt pile, so what's gonna get moved out there?
What we're hoping is that, because we want to create sort of like a Lau Park feeling when you're sitting in the middle, kind of a rise.
Okay,
And then at the top of the rise, if you can imagine, then this is, so here's the well house, and you're at the top of the rise and you're looking up. That's where the small pagoda pavilion's gonna go, and which would be for, you know, your weddings, your small fiddler band kind of thing like
is
that.
that kind of the northwest corner up there?
So here's the firehouse behind me. If I'm standing at the corner of the firehouse looking that way, it's that direction, yes.
Okay, from the well house, but
Yeah.
further north, okay.
And then, so coming down, you've got the well house, that's gonna have a new fence around it. And then, so that area will be kind of, like I said, if you're putting lawn chairs like this, looking up, whether you're sitting in the pavilion, the other pavilion, which will have the concession stand and bathrooms, you'll have that pavilion to be able to sit in and do things and look out into the screen space. If this was the pavilion here, next to it, you're going to have your pickleball court, which is closer to the well. And then the possible jungle gym will be moved around and wherever we can fit, that kind of area.
The big rock.
And then the big rock goes, and so here's the fire station. If you look on this corner, that's where that big rock would be. And in case you're wondering what the big rock is, it's a performance rock. You can see these all at Wikawia. It's a training rock for people that want to learn how to climb on rocks. The guy is from California. He basically created this whole business. To the touch and feel, it feels just like granite as you're like moving up it. It is a striking feature that is a very big deal right now. And it is something, because I am trying to get us to have something on the map that would bring people to Alburnett. So besides what we talked about with doing the wings, because the wings is a thing, yeah, and possibly the caterpillar, I do want to have, like I said, something that people, they look up and they go, the hula hoop tree, and then that's why they're stopping to come see Alburnett now. So,
Boots on the fence post.
I know. Again, I do believe that, like I said, we just gotta get, so if you're looking at the land, because you're talking about the topography, so this part could be somewhat flat, but then we want it to go up, and then of course it's all gotta come and drain out. So if we were gonna watch a movie, what we would do is we basically turn the other way, and then we put the screen up on the fire station. So we have the ability to have kids out there watching a big movie or something like that. Again, utilizing that green space to the optimum amount so that we could do things like have yoga on the park. We could have people playing, you know, with sticks or whatever they do, and then just have a really nice community space that people can really enjoy. That's what my goal is, and the committee has been very helpful in coming with a lot of the ideas as far as what we're trying to put together. So I'm very thankful that I've got them on my back. Now I just got to write you a grant. I got it. In my spare time. Yeah, I got this. So.
Alright, anything else, any other park discussion? Alright, moving on to, final comments, discussion. You have anything, Councilor Crum? I'll be more than happy to pass the gavel.
That way.
I just wanna thank everybody for coming. We need to get more people here. Cause your input is important, believe it or not. We can't think of everything.
Anything to add? Well, I want to thank everyone for this being a smooth meeting. Being my first, got the call, said, are you gonna be at the meeting? Because we need quorum. Like, okay, yep, we'll just go ahead and have you run the meeting. What? Okay. So, item 18, motion to adjourn. Moved by Weston, second by Trump. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? All right, show's over, folks.